Hey folks, Victor here. Guess where I am? I'm at the Museum of Australian Democracy at the old Parliament House here in Canberra. So come on in, let's have a look, or have a look around I should say, and see what we get up to. You're an idiot. Hey folks, sorry, but we got a little bit of a boring bit because idiot Victor forgot to take video of it when I went inside. Anyway, just so you know, 1901 the Australian Constitution itself was established for the Australian Parliament. This old building was actually built in 1927 and it remained the Houses of Parliament until it was retired in 1988 when the new Parliament House was commissioned. Now, just so you know, the Australian Parliament has four roles: making and changing federal laws, of course, representing the people of Australia, providing a place of government. Now, the two things that we're looking at today as well that I forgot to mention about, the House of Representatives, which is the lower house, and also the Senate, which is known as the upper house. Now, the lower house is the one determines the government. It represents the people and it makes the laws. Now the Senate itself, the laws go from the lower house up to the upper house to pass through to become law. The Senate's like a fact check. So they check everything over before it becomes law. They can ask questions of the lower house before they push things through. And generally, as I found out as well, the election process is slightly different to become a senator, which makes it easier for smaller parties and independents to get in, which means that quite often, more often than not, lately in the last few decades at least, the Senate is not run by the controlling party. So there you go. Forgot to mention, of course, the House of Representatives is the one that elects the Prime Minister, so he's the head of government. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, now this bit is the House of Representatives. We're about to go into. I find that funny. Even just the smell in here is pretty amazing in this whole place. So that's the lower House of Parliament just there. We'll get eventually to the Senate.
Canberra, the nation's capital, achieves new beauty with the magnificent Lake Burley Griffin as its central feature. Ornamental waters will
bring John Butters, the first and true founder of this city. I'm delighted to
It's all like a speech from us.
Now this is certainly a step back in time, isn't it? Look at the place. You might not think much of this, but cigarettes in an ashtray. Wow. Well, I guess that was the time for it. Everyone smoked in the 80s.
Well, I knew it was a projector. It looks a lot like a projector.
This is where the boss was, over there. Prime Minister's office, eh? I actually find that quite funny. It's his ensuite to the office. Oh, and a shower. Gee, not very fancy, is it? Considering he's the leader of the country. What I find funny about that bathroom is I remember as a young apprentice, Mr. Bob Hawke coming into the practice. His security came in first. The next thing he came in, straight into the consult room and straight to the mirror. Made sure his hair was right. This is where the cabinet used to meet. So the party in power would have their top ministers would form a cabinet, and that's where a lot of the ideas would come from that were presented to Parliament. Look at the size of the fire door on this, look. There's my hand. Wow. And this place was that worn out in the end. This is the sort of office that a backbencher had.
This is an important part.
It was originally a janitor's cupboard. I must say, something I find quite amusing is that everyone's walking around. It's very quiet in here, even whispering to each other. Yet when the Parliament was actually here, this place would have been really loud, especially in the chambers like the Parliamentary Chamber or the Senate Chamber we're going to go into shortly. They would have been yelling at each other and it would have been very, very loud. That's cool. That's actually part of the building of the place. Huh. Someone was a Parramatta Eels fan. Good on them. Now, referendums are an important part of the governance. It's only by referendum that we can change parts of the Australian Constitution. And of course, as we all know, it's the Constitution that makes the laws, so to speak. So all laws have got to be written within that Constitution itself. Actually, a bit of a boo-boo there. That was actually talking about elections in general as well. Yeah, so folks, how this worked, I'm standing in the main lobby. You can see behind me the House of Representatives, which is lower house. Now if I spin around this way, spinning, 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 that is the Senate, the upper house. And you'll notice this one's all red. Even with Australia's relatively short history, and this place being only a temporary parliament, it's amazing how much would have actually gone on in here, how many things had been said to each other, how many laws were passed. It's just amazing. Here we have some models of where we are. That's the old Parliament House, scale model from 1927. And we come over to here, and this is the scale model of the old Parliament House. The extra offices added on there as well, and this was from 1988 when it closed. How about that? Here's something for you to see throughout the place. If you look up there, you see a green light and a red light. I even saw them in the Prime Minister's bathroom. Okay, now what that means, when the red light flashes, it means the Senate's going in, it's been called in. When the green light flashes, it means that the lower house has been called in. And to get there. So each house had their own courtyard. That the members could walk around, discuss business, and also get a bit of fresh air away from the chamber inside. So there you have it, folks, the Museum of Australian Democracy. This is the old Parliament House. Now, just those stairs there, point of interest. There was a Labor government under a name by the name of Gough Whitlam, who was the Prime Minister, and he was effectively sacked by the Governor General. And the announcement took place on those stairs on the 11th of November 1975. So who says nothing exciting happens around here, eh? Now before I sign off, I just want to mention that where we are in the Parliamentary Triangle here in Canberra, there is a lot of interesting stuff to see. I'm actually thinking about doing a future video of just walking around to see the things that are in the area here. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. I might also try and do other videos in other buildings in here, because there's some interesting ones in here. There's the National Gallery, for instance, that's in this area. Even Questacon, which is a science learning museum, I guess you could call it. Anyway, folks, I'll sign off here. Have a great day, and I'll catch up with you on the next one. Bye.